What was needed was a van. This conclusion being arrived at after at least 4 minutes brainstorming, during which a now in kit form Honda Super Dream was unloaded from the rear of Keith's Talbot Horizon. It was getting tedious, dismantling motorcycles on people's drives or out in the street, just so as we could transport them back to the yard. Not only would a van alleviate the need to do this, but it would provide free advertising too if I sign wrote it. Rachel's dad, being a firewood man, got around the area a fair bit. Once I tipped him off that a van was on the wish list, that evening while collecting his daughter, it only took him 24 hours to locate one for me. A painter and decorator who lived in the next street to them had bought a more modern van, this freeing up his old one for sale. I gave the owner a ring, arranging to pop down later for a viewing. He was friendly and enthusiastic on the blower, but when I arrived on the moped, this sort of melted away, him looking myself and the Honda up and down before throwing the keys at me and going back in his house. Very bizarre. What greeted me was a 1976 Ford Escort Mark II van in light blue. Plenty of rust, but 4 months MOT left and 3 months tax. I decided it would do the job it was needed to. The owner seemed startled when I said I would have it. I didn't argue with the 50 quid price tag, figuring the tax disc was worth nearly that alone. It was agreed it would be collected after the weekend, giving him time to clear all his crap out of the back. The following Monday, Keith and I arrived in the Talbot. I got the keys off the bloke's wife and we tried to start it. No dice. The battery was flat. Not just flat, but totally dead, like open circuit. It looked to me like someone had swapped out the good one that was fitted when I viewed and bought the van with some ancient thing covered in mugs sometime over the weekend. Luckily, I knew a lad who lived a few doors away, so went round and tapped him up for a lend of some jump leads. The Talbot was coupled up to provide power, bringing the old escort into life. The deal had been for Keith to follow me back closely behind. If it looked like the law was about, then he was to draw their attentions. Seeing as I was only 16, had a licence to ride a moped and thus no insurance, plus being very well known to the local law, I was really chancing my arm big time here. But what with father showing off, I figured this was the only way without getting him involved. Keith uncoupled the jump leads, then leapt into the Talbot and raced off up the road. I was left stood there, gob open. Sense, well, of some sort, quickly returned to my head, and slamming the bonnet of the van, I drove up to my mate's house to drop his leads back. Him seeing me in the Ford leading to looks of total bemusement. Making sure to keep the van running, I then bumbled off on my first ever on-road drive. Around the fields in a car or van had been it until this point. The fuel gauge was off the bottom of the red. I just prayed it was faulty and kept pushing on. Heart racing and with the scent of old paint and fag ends ever present in the cabin, I worked the old van rattling and banging up to 50 mile an hour. Thankfully, no coppers were seen and I didn't manage to ditch the thing either, arriving back at Air Yard intact. Keith was sat on the gate, having a fag when I landed. I gave him a right bollocking for leaving me, but he just grinned in his usual daft way. The battery on it was toast. I had to get a new one, and my mother arranged some insurance for Keith to drive the van, though we discovered months later on that he had been banned from driving anyway, so that was rather pointless. Rather than paying a sign writer, I used sticky black number plate letters to put my name and phone number up the side. Now I felt professional and ready to seriously crack on. Hello! Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed this and would like to see more, please subscribe to my channel and also share with your friends if you think they'd like it. It's much appreciated. Take care.